Messed up moments in comics that made us go, what the f? Part 151. This is Batman issue 15 from the New 52. Our story begins with Batman fighting the Joker on a bridge. Batman leaps through the flames to attack his mortal enemy. Batman only wants to know one thing. Where is Alfred? But Joker gets the upper hand, knocking Batman into the water, where he suddenly snaps out of it. He's awake, and he's back home, surrounded by the ones he loves. In comes Alfred, with his face removed, and his hair green. Armed with an axe, then Alfred takes a swing. That's when we realize it was all a bad dream. Of course it was. The entire Bat family start arguing amongst themselves. Apparently, Bruce has been hiding something from them, and it's something pretty serious. It turns out years before, one of the first times Batman fought the Joker, after sinking a dirigible filled with Joker toxin, Batman went back to the Batcave, where he found this playing card, and no other signs of entry. They could have been compromised for years, and Bruce never told them. You need to do an episode about the issue of Superman vs. Meshi, where he tries to kiss Batman and forget how Japanese food tastes? Okay. Messed up moments in comics that made us go, hey yo, what the fuck? Part 152. This is Superman vs. Meshi. And in this manga, Superman is really obsessed with Japanese food. I mean, I really can't overstate this. He is obsessed with Japanese food. And at the beginning of issue 16, he reveals his identity to Lois, but then quickly realizes, oh crap, she's gonna be in danger now. So he does the logical thing. Gives her a kiss to make her forget. Later on, Batman and Superman just finished eating at a restaurant, where Batman says, that was totally worth the 2-hour wait, I'd love to eat it again. But he says he wouldn't want to wait in line all over again. Then he realizes he could have just ordered another burger, and says he wishes he could reset his memory and eat that hamburger all over again. And Clark Kent took that personally. So Clark Diddy Combs leans in for the kiss, but Batman realizes what's going on and says, dude, it's a figure of speech. But apparently the smell from Superman's breath was enough to do the job. Messed up moments in comics that made us go, hey yo, what the fuck? Part 153. This is Detective Comics issue 328, and it features the introduction of this character, known as Aunt Harriet, an elderly relative of the young Dick Grayson. She ends up moving into Wayne Manor to help take care of the Bat family. But you might be asking yourself, where's the messed up part? Let me explain. You see, this is Julius Schwartz. He used to be an editor at DC for Batman, and it was his idea to create Aunt Harriet for the Bat family for one particular reason. And if you're familiar with comic book history, you'll recognize this man. That being Dr. Frederick Wortham, otherwise known as the author of this book, Seduction of the Innocent. Long story short, Dr. Frederick Wortham basically fabricated a lot of evidence and case studies, and came to the conclusion that somehow superhero comics made kids want to be delinquents, and apparently homosexual? And no joke, his number one example of this was Batman and Robin. He basically said no straight, unmarried man would live with a kid like that, so they made Aunt Harriet so they wouldn't be alone. He also gave us the Comics Code Authority. Messed up moments in comics that made us go, hey yo, what the fuck? Part 154. This is Barbara Gordon, otherwise known as Batgirl. And this is Batgirl issue 15 from the New 52, in which the Joker stages a fake wedding between himself and Batgirl. And yes, this is after the Joker cut his own face off, anyway, moving on. But what makes this moment even more messed up is the fact that the Joker has kidnapped Barbara Gordon's mother, and is holding her as a hostage, making sure that Batgirl goes through with the wedding. But Batgirl completely snaps and starts beating the crap out of the Joker. And she is not holding back. She's going for kidney shots, liver shots, a punch straight to the spine. And yes, this does seem pretty violent and over the top for Batgirl to be doing in this situation. I mean, I get it, she's angry, her mom got kidnapped, but still, there's a reason for it. That being, when they rebooted the universe of the New 52, they wiped the slate clean. Mostly. Because I'm sure you're all familiar with this book, that being The Killing Joke, where Barbara gets paralyzed and, let's say, exploited. Yeah, that was still canon here. Have you done the one where Spider-Man backhands a pregnant MJ, sending her flying across a room? No, but I will now. Messed up moments in comics that made us go, what the f? Part 155. This is Spectacular Spider-Man issue 226, and our story starts with Spidey in the middle of a fight. Pretty normal so far. By winning, Spider-Man is able to fully exonerate the incarcerated Peter Parker. This is the Clone Saga. So of course, the version of Peter Parker that was actually locked up, turns out that was Ben Reilly. And the Peter in the Spider-Man suit was actually Peter Parker. But was it the real one? Because you see, friends, Peter Parker was told his life is a lie and that he is really a clone. All confirmed with science. So he snaps on Ben Reilly, says, you can't steal my life, and attacks him. The two start tussling and beating the crap out of each other in the middle of the lab. MJ sees this and is like, "Oh my god, my husband needs me, I have to help now." Does she not see that Peter Parker is choking out Ben Reilly with a pipe? So the possibly cloned Peter straight up Hank Pimp slaps her, then runs away in shame. Part 156. This is Silver St. Cloud from DC Comics, and today we're going to be taking a look at Batman the Widening Gyre, issue number 6. Written by, you guessed it, Kevin Smith. Leave our boy Batman alone, please. Our story begins with Batman taking Silver St. Cloud on a plane ride. It turns out, he's taking her to the Fortress of Solitude. But not only that, he takes her through Superman's private garden and eventually to the Watchtower, where after a brief costume change, Batman proposes to her, and she says yes. Back at the Batcave, Silver tells Alfred the good news, and Alfred refers to Batman as DD, which he heard was a pet name from Silver St. Cloud. She explains that DD stands for double digits, because the day they met, they did it 11 times, and Alfred looks like he's about to faint. Batman's abilities include enhanced stamina and enhanced durability. Checks out. Alfred begins telling her about the time Bruce was 15 and pulled a college girl, and she says, "Was it Poison Ivy?" He says no, it was the Penguin. Messed up moments in comics that made us go,
I don't like where this is going.
Part 157. I just covered the engagement between Batman and Silver St. Cloud from the Widening Gyre, where Silver St. Cloud told Alfred that the day that her and Bruce met, they did it 11 times. Alfred's complete petrifying embarrassment aside, things look like they're finally going well for Bruce Wayne. I mean, he's engaged. And he seems legitimately happy. He's smiling with Alfred and having a good time. But something sinister lies beneath the surface. As Alfred is driving Silver St. Cloud back to her home, a car's headlights show up in the rearview mirror, and Alfred and Silver get run off the road, but the car that's chasing them is the Batmobile. And it wasn't somebody who just stole Bruce's car, it was Batman. Alfred begins screaming at him. He could have hurt someone. But Batman tells him, "Get back inside and arm yourself." He grabs his fiancée by the hair and drags her out of the car, violently ripping her hair out and telling her to shut up, as he tests it because he thought she might be a robot. He says, "I'll never be normal, will I?" Messed up moments in comics that made us go,
Hey, yo, what the
Part 158. This is Detective Comics issue 741. Our story begins with Huntress about to lose her life at the hands of the Joker, when she's rescued by Nightwing and Batman, and they end up fighting off Harley Quinn and the Joker. But Huntress is in trouble. She needs medical attention now. We end up learning that 36 infants are missing, and the person of interest is the Joker, who just so happens to show up right outside the building where all of the heroes are. Except that wasn't the Joker. That was Harley. Where is Joker? It turns out he's hiding in the GCPD basement. So Jim Gordon's wife, Sarah Essen, goes to investigate, where she finds the Joker with 36 babies. But there's no smiles or jokes, just a soulless expression on his face. He ends up throwing a baby and takes Sarah out right then and there, leaving her body with all of the babies. With no laughs or smiles, we see how evil he really is. Messed up moments in comics that made us go,
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Part 158. This is Black Canary from DC Comics. She's about to have a really bad day. It starts off pretty normal with Dinah and Oliver Queen hanging out, until a woman crashes through the window. They go to search her and don't find an ID. However, they find some, let's just say, illicit substances. So Oliver Queen goes to get to the bottom of this, and for some reason, she gets kidnapped. They torture her pretty good, it's kinda graphic. And when it looks like she's about to shuffle off this mortal coil, Oliver Queen comes in and saves the day. However, it looks like things might have been a bit too late. Thankfully, Shadow is there to help save Black Canary and help Oliver Queen. Speaking of Shadow, she later tells Dinah, "Hey, remember that guy you're in love with, Oliver Queen?" Well, yeah, turns out that Shadow may have, had her way with a drugged Oliver Queen, resulting in a child being born named Robert. Shadow refuses to let Oliver meet him, and Shadow tells Dinah, "He kept calling me by your name." Messed up moments in comics that made us go,
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Part 160. This is Valeria Richards. And in the new Marvel one-shot Doom, she rescues her uncle. After we find out that Galactus wrecked Dr. Doom, wiped out all of life on Earth, including the heroes and villains, as well as all of the cosmic heroes like the Guardians of the Galaxy and even the Inhumans, and even the Celestials, Valeria rescues Doom and gives him a massive power boost. And they have one mission: defeat Galactus. To do so, they have to stop this machine, which is going to reboot the entire universe, so Galactus can eat forever. While Dr. Doom fights off the new heralds of Galactus, the young Valeria sneaks into the machine, where Galactus was waiting for her. Left with no other options, young Valeria's back was against the wall, and she detonates the machine, taking herself out in the process, leaving Dr. Doom the only survivor in the universe. I mean, it's a better way to go out than her namesake, since Doom turned her skin into a suit of armor.
Like and subscribe.